What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another review. Today we're going to be reviewing the Scarecrow from the Batman Hush line from Mafex. And honestly, I was going to not pick this figure up because of the lack of accessories. I've been highly disappointed in the Scarecrow and the Riddler's lack of accessories and the high price point that they're asking for. And both of them having single jointed knees. But we are going to objectively review this figure. So let's get this figure opened up and let's see what he's about. Let's take a closer look of the figure out of the box, right? So one thing I think this figure really shines in is the sculpting. A lot of great sculpt work, a lot of great painting on it, great painting, great sculpt work, right? That's where this figure shines, really shines. The head sculpts look phenomenal, honestly. Looks really good for a Scarecrow, especially for a comic Scarecrow. I really like this. It's like baggy, like bag look. It's definitely giving that like comic-esque look, right? Comic-y Scarecrow. Comic-y, if that's even a word, comic-y. But yeah, this is a close look at Scarecrow. Have this rope on the back. That's part of the lower belt piece. A lot of stitching everywhere around the legs and around the arms. All nicely sculpted, painted, and well done. So let's get into the articulation now. He is double jointed here on the arms. He hits well above the T-pose. He does not have a butterfly joint, which is one of my complaints of this figure. We should not be getting figures in 2025, 2024, or 2026 with no butterfly joints. Okay? Not acceptable anymore, honestly. Especially if I'm paying $80 for this retail without shipping and tax. Where's my butterfly joints? Like, I understand the design that this is going to hinder it. There's ways to do it. Like, this is a company who's made several figures. I think they can figure it out. Even if you cut a little bit deeper here, have a butterfly or like where the disc can actually move, because then it's just like not a big complaint. Honestly, you can use the ab crunch, lift the arm up like this, right? Not a big complaint. Not gonna let it ruin the figure for me. There's a bunch of other issues of this figure, but we're gonna get to that. The ab crunch. Wow, honestly, really good ab crunch there. And going back, not so much, right? Side to side, actually really good. I am seeing like a little bit of like, maybe like, not a chip, but you see that gloss right there? Typically means I scratched or it came scratched. Only part of the figure that's shiny on the painting. So already seeing a scratch here, right? Something to be cautious about. The head looks down that much. Up this much. Not a lot of range because of the hair piece in the back, right? Side to side, decent. Not really, actually. It's decent this way, but for this going the other way, not really moving that way, right? Side to side like this, kind of rotating. Not a lot of movement in the head, right? Then no bicep swivel either, but it kind of like tilts with the disc as well. And the arm kind of like swivels a bit at the top. I'm assuming this is going to be the same like engineering they're going to do for, or whatever the word is, for the Robin, where it's going to be able to twist from the upper shoulder rather than have the bicep swivel here, because it doesn't look like the Robin has a bicep swivel. Then we have the single jointed knees that actually go up a lot, to be honest. They go past the 90-degree mark. So that's something that convinced me to get the figure, because when I see single joints, I'm like, not really a fan. But the single joint seems to be working well here, unlike the Captain America that I have. So I'm pretty pleased with that. The legs going up very high here as well. Basically 90 degrees unless you swivel it more up to the side. Drop down legs, of course. Toe hinges at the like sandal that he's wearing. The ankles are not going to be moving very much because of this hard plastic ankle piece that he has. So it moves a bit, but I wonder how balancing this figure is going to be like long term when you're doing poses. He's not going to be doing anything dynamic. It is Scarecrow, but just considering that. Honestly, he looks really, really good. My complaint is that with the upcharge for the figure, it's very expensive, for almost nothing that it comes with. I think this is like all the most important parts of articulation for the Scarecrow. Now we're going to look at the accessories that he comes with and see. It's going to be like a 2-second accessory showcase because he comes with nothing. But anyways, he comes with the unmasked head sculpt that looks a little funny to me because of the teeth, but honestly, not looking bad either. Sculpted very nicely, gives that comic book look, right? Happy that we at least got another head sculpt. And one with his mouth open that looks phenomenal. Really loving this head sculpt. Definitely one of the best head sculpts that I've seen for a comic DC figure for sure. Then we have these open, really open, wide hands, looking pretty scary there. Looking a little creepy there with those hands looking like that. Then we got these like really long fingers. And one with like his fingers like tilted and like kind of like this, right? Don't know how to describe that, but I guess we're going to move on to the size comparison because there's nothing else. That's it. Paid $75, about $90 shipped for that. That is all. But let's get into the size comparison. Here's a quick side comparison to the Revoltech Catwoman and Harley Quinn. Honestly, they scale pretty well. He looks pretty tall next to them. And yeah, I think they look really nice next to each other. And now I'm going to be transitioning it into the Mafex Nightwing and the Mafex Batman. Here we have the Mafex Nightwing on the left, the Mafex Hush Blue Batman on the right, and the Scarecrow in the middle. And just so you can see like side by side, he's about this tall next to him. Kind of moving him around because you can't really see with that huge cape that I absolutely hate on this Batman. And then kind of side to side with the Nightwing. Kind of like they're around the same height, maybe a little bit taller, right? But that is the size comparison for you guys. And let's talk about what I think about this figure and the final thoughts. So for the final thoughts, I'm going to try to be as objective as possible. I had no issue swapping the head sculpts. I had no issue swapping the hands. The articulation seems to be holding up pretty well for what you need for a Scarecrow. This is obviously going to be the best 112 Scarecrow that you can get because there are a lack of 112 Scarecrows that are actually good. So you have to settle for this one. And honestly, it's not a bad thing that you're settling for this one. There's just so much more that could have been done to add to this figure. So much more love that could have been put into this line. But once Hush, Nightwing, and all those big figures that everyone wanted kind of went away, everything else kind of just got swept under the rug and was given nothing. And I heard that the Scarecrow actually doesn't even appear for that long in the actual comic or show, movie, whatever it is. So yeah, just disappointed, generally disappointed. But again, objectively, great articulation. Definitely some good sculpting here with the Scarecrow. Definitely gonna have to be cautious of the paint scratches on the ab crunch. Maybe because of the skirt. I'm not sure exactly what the scratch there is from. It looks like it's the lower abdomen, so probably that skirt piece scratching up on there. Nothing too crazy though. I just think it's disappointing. Yeah, it's disappointing really with the accessories, and the value for what you're paying for is just it's not there at all. This is not worth $75, $70, nothing. No, it's not worth that. It's not worth that. It's not worth what you're paying for. And I think that's how I'm gonna end the review, just letting you know that I recommend it, just not for that price. Maybe hold off, see if it goes down a little bit, see if other people resell theirs for lower, but he's not worth the price that you're paying for. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. I hope you guys got something out of it, learned something new. If I changed your mind about this figure, or if now you want to buy him or now you don't want to buy him. Maybe you already had a thought about the figure and you probably still think that. Whatever it may be, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next review. Peace out.